Well, hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me for the Business for Self seminar. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right, so we're going to talk about the basics of starting your own business. And just a short disclosure that basically advises that I'm not a financial advisor and to seek one to help guide you in making investment decisions. Here's information about who I am and my experience and qualifications. Feel free to pause the feed to read about me. So let's talk about becoming a business owner and the basics. So this starts with an idea. Many of us have tons of ideas floating in our head, some of which could be very profitable ideas. So why not capitalize on those ideas? But before you do, there are basic fundamentals that you should think about prior to starting this venture. So let's determine and define a product or service. So one thing you want to do, of course, is you want to create a name. So what's in a name? It should tell you, your customer, what you do. It should not be a guessing game for your customer. Be as creative as possible to stand out amongst your competitors. For example, there's a store in Pensacola called Roses. When it first got here, I thought they sold plants and flowers. However, once I went inside, I realized that it was a discount store. Now, that particular company name itself is actually very well known now. But you think about a place like Dollar Tree, well, that just sounds like a discount to me. So I know for sure when I go to a Dollar Tree, it sounds like I'm going to be getting some stuff for $1. So I'm going to go there versus Roses. Now I know who Roses is now. So now it's different. So of course, now we have name recognition. You also want to go ahead and have a mission statement. And mission statements are used to explain simply and in concise terms its purpose for being, and also maybe a short paragraph. If no purpose statement is available, you also want to have a vision statement. It states the current and future objectives of the business. Purpose statements is a single statement that illustrates how your product or service positively impacts your customers or the people you serve. Slogans, a memorable phrase or motto intended to be a repetitive expression of a purpose or promise. A slogan aims to subliminally persuade. When we think about Nike and we say, just do it, that's their slogan. We remember that, just do it. A logo, it's images or text or shapes. A logo can and should be more than a symbol of identification. If designed well, it also tells a company story by conveying your brand message in a way that helps to establish an emotional connection with your target audience. Back to Nike again. When you see that swish, you know exactly what company it is. So let's talk about different types of businesses. So we have sole proprietorships, we have partnerships, limited liability corporations, and we have nonprofits. So what are each of these? Sole proprietors is a type of business entity that is owned and run by one individual. There are no legal distinctions between the owner and the business. You can use your own personal checking account for a sole proprietorship. I would recommend it, but that you can do that. General partnerships, an association between two or more people in a business seeking a profit. It could be you and your son, you and your mom, two friends, just two people on a partnership. Limited liability partnerships, or LLC. This is a hybrid between a corporation, general partnerships, and sole proprietor. Owners of LLCs are called members, and members may include an individual mixed with a corporation, two individuals, two corporations. It could be a hybrid of both. Corporations, they are the most complex business structure. A corporation is a legal entity that is separate and independent from the people who own and run the corporation, especially namely the shareholders. Corporation, you definitely cannot use your own personal checking account to write checks to pay the bill for the corporation. You don't want to do that. You don't want to commingle those funds. A nonprofit organization, or an NPO, also known as a non-business entity or not-for-profit, nonprofit institution. They're dedicated for furthering a particular social cause or advocating for a shared point of view, such as the Everyday Daily Real Adult Learning or nonprofit learning organization. We actually are advocating to educate youth to make them better equipped for handling and navigating through adulthood, educational wise. So that is our cause, our social cause. So you have different types of businesses, and you need to choose which one would be best for whatever you decide to do. So let's talk about determining that budget when you become a business owner. So the one thing you want to do when starting a business is determine your budget and your startup costs. So know how much each item will cost you prior to embarking on the adventure. How much will inventory, marketing, labor, furniture, and equipment cost? These are very important to determine up front. It's a great idea to speak with a CPA to help you get to where you need to be, to get you started and to get you on track financially. Many businesses fail the first year due to a lack of planning and research, and you don't want to crash and burn. So make sure that you're prepared. So there are also free templates online you can use to help you set up a budget, like the one I have listed here. The one I have captured, they have some great info on it. You can use it to get started. And if you would like a copy of this, feel free to email me or message me, and I can send it to you. There are several like this online. Here's another one, another example with a monthly budget template. And just remember, it's not a good idea to commingle funds with your personal budget. Like I stated earlier, I can't stress that enough for legal purposes. If you choose an LLC or a corporation and you commingle funds and someone decides to sue the business, they can go after you personally as well as with corporations and LLCs. So it's best to keep them separated. So make sure you don't commingle those funds. So we're going to talk about the legal steps with becoming a business owner. So you want to obtain the required business licenses with the state. So this could be a license for your skill, certifications, as well as a general business license. You want to obtain an EIN, and this is done through the IRS. Register the business with the state, including a DBA, such as T.E.D.R.A Nonprofit Learning Organization. That's our DBA. Our original name is the Everyday Daily Real Adult Nonprofit Learning Organization. Both are our legal names, and both are registered with the state. Legal documents, articles of incorporations, bylaws, policies and procedures, disclosures, liability insurance for your business. And if it's a nonprofit, IRS 501c3. And this sounds like an extraordinary amount of work to do, and it can be. I would recommend a company such as LegalZoom to do most of the work for you. It is an added expense, but it's worth it. LegalZoom can get your EIN, registration with the state, as well as DBA, articles of incorporation, and assist if you have a nonprofit with a 501c3 for a fee. Bylaws can be created through legal document creation companies such as LegalZoom. Legal forms off of websites, you can Google those. I use FormSwift. And you can also purchase software at Office Depot and Office Max to help you with these items as well. Policies and procedures. I would suggest Googling a similar company and review their policy and procedures and use it as a starting template to make your own changes. And you can do the same thing for disclosure statements. And you might want to have an attorney review it for you. Liability insurance can be purchased at places like State Farm, the Hartford, Fisher Brown, etc. Florida and many other states also require corporations to file an annual report each year by a specific date. Do not miss this date, as it could cause the state to assess penalties or worse, make your business inactive. And you don't want to do that. And Florida's deadline is May 1st, and each state have their own deadline. So be sure to know what that is. So let's talk about business banking. So once you receive your EIN and your other articles of incorporation, it's time to set up a bank account. There are many different types of accounts, so you want to select the one that's best for your business. Check with your current bank first to see if they will support your business structure with their business banking services. For example, my credit union, they did not support my nonprofit business and would not let me obtain an account with them. So if you run into situations like this, there are other national banks out there that can help, such as Bank of America, to help set you up. But be aware that these banks can have hefty fees. So make sure you know what the fees are and what's the why behind the fees. So just make sure, because that can be really expensive. So let's talk about marketing your business. So once you have everything set up, now it's time to look at ways to advertise or market your business. This can be a costly expense. However, it's a necessary evil to get your name out there to begin establishing a customer base. There are many marketing advertisement companies out there, as well as document creation companies for advertising to choose from. So if you're not that creative or prefer someone to do it for you, there are services out there such as Vistaprint, Office Depot, GoDaddy, and various online marketing firms to assist you for a fee. Google will provide some free advertisement on their platform. Facebook, Instagram, and other social media sites are excellent resources to market your business for free. But with those, please be aware of random trolls and people trying to join your group to post spam and hack your followers. So, the first thing you do, you want to create that website. You can go to places like GoDaddy.com. Very reasonable costs from GoDaddy. I actually spend less than $15 for 2 years for my website. You want to create business cards. When somebody asks you what you do, you want to be able to hand them off a business card with your website and your phone number on it. Create flyers and yard signs. When you're out there doing work, you can post your yard signs so people that are driving by know who you are, and they can copy down your phone number if they need the same type of work done. Your flyers that you create. If you're a construction company, you might want to post some flyers on billboards in Home Depot or Lowe's, or some painting companies, or hardware stores. These will help get you started, especially when you have homeowners that come in there that are looking for certain things. They'll grab your flyer and give you a call. Create groups and pages on social media. We talked about that. And of course, create a business email address. Many people, they do like to correspond via email. They like things in writing. You can use places like GoDaddy to create email addresses that have your company's name in it, such as with us, we have admin at T.E.D.R.A. Google, you can use Google emails. They are free. You can create one, T.E.D.R.A. at google.com. So it's really a preference on how you want to do that, but definitely make sure you have an email set up. So we're going to talk about establishing a business telephone number as well. So especially for small businesses, a separate line through a cell phone provider is generally a good idea. I know many small businesses will use their own phone line, but it's really good to separate the two if you can. You can add a line to your current plan and have a separate cell phone. So check your carrier for cost, fees, and monthly charges. Many of those carriers will also allow you to personalize each cell phone for caller ID purposes. And that way your business name will show up on the caller ID versus your personal name. Small businesses may also want to use Google Voice. This is actually free. It's a free phone number that you can get from Google Voice. And it allows you to set up voicemails, and they will, once somebody calls you on that line and leave a voicemail, it will email you that voicemail. You can listen to it, call it back. And I did provide the website address so that if you're interested in doing a Google Voice, you can go there and it'll show you how to set it up. I do have a handout with instructions. If you would like that, you can also message me for that as well. And just an FYI, when setting up your voicemail, it's really recommended. I recommend you type up your voicemail in a Word document first, practice it, then set it up on your professional business voicemail. Provide a brief advertisement of your business. However, you definitely want to keep that less than a minute so you don't frustrate your customers. So some other service recommendations. So depending how big your company becomes or begins, it may be necessary for you to set aside a budget for an accountant, attorney, advertising company, or even a human resource firm. Many business attorneys will charge a monthly fee for their business to keep them on record as your attorney, and accountants and CPAs are great resources for ensuring limited errors on corporate and other tax returns, like your K-1 schedule. And advertising companies can help grow your business as they have the necessary tools to do so. Human resource firms are great for legal situations when handling payroll benefits and employee issues. So these are some good other service recommendations, especially if you're looking at really becoming a larger small business. So let's talk about that business lending. Generally, lenders are looking for a lot of information when they want to lend businesses money. And some of the requirements are companies whose owners have good to excellent credit. They want that. A proven flow of income that can be used to repay the loan. More than 1 year in operation, although this may vary from lender to lender. In some cases, proof of collateral that can be used to secure the loan. So if you have a lawn service and you have a truck that you tote your equipment around in, they may want to use that as collateral. A plan for investing the capital. So what do you plan on doing with this loan? And generally 5-year plans are good to use for that. And they possibly might want to review a Duns and Bradstreet number or a business credit score. And a Duns and Bradstreet number this is a unique identifier for your business, and it's available for free from the Dun and Bradstreet. You can Google that. This will be the number some lenders and potential business partners use to check your business's credit profile. So you want to have it available before applying for the loan. So once you decide what type of loan you need, your lender will request certain documentation, a lot of documentation actually. A business plan showing your intentions for the loan. Once again, we talked about that 5-year plan. Those are definitely good to have, and they're good to have in general because you really should know what your intentions are for your business for 5 years. Tax returns for your business. They want that. Generally, they want 2 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years of company revenue figures, personal and business credit information. You might say, well, this is my business. Why do I need my personal? Because they want to guarantee. Most lenders want to be able to know that they're going to get their money back. And so if your personal credit is in good shape, they kind of feel like you're going to do the right thing and pay them back if your business can't afford to pay back. Personal and business bank statements, cash flow history, and future projections. So one thing you do in business, you want a future forecast. So if you're making $10,000 a month, and maybe a few months down the line you drop down to $5,000 a month. Well, that might be because of a certain season. So they want you to be able to give future projections based on the history of the business. Maybe certain months you make more money than others. So they definitely want a cash flow history and what those future projections look like. Business licenses and certifications, they want to see those. They want a copy of those to make sure you're legitimate. Current profit and loss statements. That's pretty self-explanatory. They want to know how much profit you got and how much losses you've taken. Detailed resumes of key executive staff members. You're like, why would they want that? Well, it's because they want to make sure you know what you're doing. So if you're asking for a loan, they're running your credit. They want to make sure you just didn't go get a license, study for 6 months, and now you're out there, doing a business, and you want them to provide you with $50,000. That generally won't happen. They want to make sure you're experienced in this particular profession. That makes them feel secure, and they want to be able to know that this loan is not as risky as it really is. I mean, most business loans are extremely risky, and so they're trying to mitigate as much risk as possible. And these are some of the things that they look for. Franchise partnerships and other legal agreements. So if you have any other type of agreements, they want to see all that too. So lenders, they don't make it easy to obtain these business loans because They are very risky. I've noticed that having a Duns and Bradstreet number, a 5-year plan, good personal credit score, and a profit and loss statement has helped me in the past. There are some government lenders such as SBA that may be a little friendly to startup businesses, but they will still require much of the same information and a lot of information from your personal finances. There may be other sources that you can go to, such as businesses that will provide grants for minority businesses, veterans, and women. You can check with SBA.gov for this information, or you can check some of the veteran websites if you are a veteran. So in conclusion here, you want to capitalize and profit from your ideas. That's the first thing. So you want to follow the basics when developing your product or your service. You want to select a type of business, create that budget, make sure you have enough funds available to go ahead and do what you need to do. Create a checklist for all the legal steps. Make sure you check it off one by one, get it done. Set up business banking. Market your business, market. That's the only way to get your name out there. People have to know who you are, and in order for them to know who you are, they have to be able to see it out there. Flyers, business cards, signs. Get help from key services such as attorneys, accountants, advertising agencies, human resource companies if you have employees. And also research and review lenders if a business loan is needed. I'd like to thank you for joining the Everyday Daily Real Adult Nonprofit Learning Organization. I have my contact information here, my email address and my phone number. Here are some of the other seminars that we do have. So feel free to visit our website and learn a little bit more. So we are a nonprofit organization, and we do rely on contributions, and the contributions will allow us to continue to provide free education to our young adults and local communities, as well as be utilized to provide educational material and information to young adults as they navigate through their learning and development process within our organization. So please visit our website for additional information about the organization and our mission, as well as learn information about the teacher, me, and our board members. I would like to thank you so much for taking the time out your busy day to listen to me, share basic information about starting your own business. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to email me or message me or drop your question in the post on Facebook. I'd like to thank you so much, and stop sharing my screen. And thank you so much for joining us.